Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. Okay, so you know me. I like to take a look at events that happen around the world and see what we can learn from them, and also kind of investigate a little bit so we can see through the BS that the media is trying to spin us. Okay. Uh, the wildfires on Maui in Lahaina. Okay. Let's take a look at those. There's some interesting facts that are coming out. There's some interesting speculations. There's certainly some interesting conspiracy theories. Okay. But let's take a look at what the media might not be telling us, okay, as to what's going on. And I'm not going to get all conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I'm not going to play into the narrative that the media likes to do. I'm going to discuss the reality of it. Okay. Now, we've got a fire that so far I think has killed, I think the latest reported number is 93 people, a lot of them children. Okay. We'll get into that in a second. But how did the fire start? Right? There's the first one. And you've heard everything from it was three guys with a gas can. You've heard that it was Chinese lasers. Could those be possible? Sure. Okay. The most plausible one that we're hearing is it's because of all the dry grass, not because of climate change, like some of these idiots want to talk about, but because of drought, all right, and a faulty electric company somewhere in the wires or something like that. Oh my God, how could that happen? I don't know. Ask California and how well Pacific Electric and Gas does with their electric and wildfires. We have wildfires every year in California, and every time they're caused by electrical problems, okay, because they don't maintain the lines. Same problem in another liberal haven of Hawaii, okay. The funny part is, this could have all been prevented if we had competent leadership, which y'all know in 2/3 of the country, federally for certain, we don't have competent leadership. And half the states, we don't have competent leadership. And Hawaii is as blue gets. So, I mean, by definition, there's no competent leadership. I mean, come on, this is a this is a state that keeps electing Mazie Hirano, all right? One of the dumbest women in Congress, or in the Senate, actually. But what could have been done? Well, just like in California, they could have cleaned up all the dead brush. But no, you're going to affect the, habitat of some bird or rodent or something like that. And hence we get a wildfire. Then let's look at the incompetence of the Lahaina fire department. They went home. Oh, the fire is contained. No big deal. It's, we don't have to worry about it. Well, there's 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds blowing around, and oh, gee, it sparked it all up again. Okay. Oh, well, I need to go home. There's nothing to do here. I'm sorry, there's one little ember going. You still have a job to do. That's what you're paid for. Okay. Then you get the other problem that there's no early warning system for people. Now, mind you this, it's summertime. Not that it's probably not always summer in Hawaii, but you know what I mean. The kids are out of school, so the kids are home. There's no early warning system. So the kids didn't know to get out. Mom and dad are at work, or these days in a liberal shithole, it's mom or dad is at work, because God knows we couldn't have a 2-parent household. And the kids are at home. And you've got a fire that is moving at somewhere around 60 miles an hour. I mean, that's nothing. That thing's flying down the road or, through the forest, through the rainforest, whatever it would be, and poof, your house is on fire. Okay. And so a lot of these kids were trapped. So that's a big issue. So, first lesson to learn, and I've talked about this before. Do you have a fire plan in your house? Does everybody know where to meet? Do you have a communication plan? Whatever, if something like this happens near you. Could I have wildfires near me? Oh, yeah, I live in a forest, okay? A lot of you guys live in areas where maybe it's not a tinderbox. I mean, with all the rain we have right now, you'd be hard-pressed to light anything on fire. But, yeah, what's your plan? Do your kids know? Do your grandkids know what to do? Do you have some sort of system in place that they know? How did Tom Cruise put it in Top Gun? Don't think, do. Okay, that's it. So you look at that, all right. But what else is going on? What is some of the interesting speculation? All right, besides the bullshit climate change crap and everything like that. Well, you've heard stories come out that this was set on purpose so BlackRock could come in and buy some of the most expensive real estate in the world for pennies on the dollar. Okay? Not a whole lot of evidence to that, but there's possibility that would lead to maybe the arson thing. Okay? And you think about these elites, okay, Larry Fink here, they know how to cover their tracks. They've got a lot of help to do it too, right? Because all the elites and the oligarchs have a tendency to cover for each other. Take a look at Joe Biden for an example, okay? Then you get the other one. And this one's a real stretch, I see. Oh, well, Oprah's house didn't burn down. Now, I'm no fan of Oprah at all, okay? Good entertainer. I mean, she halfway decent actress, okay? She had fun on her TV show. Her politics suck, okay? But everybody's like, oh, her house didn't burn down. Her house was an hour away from where the fires were. So, yeah, she owns a house on Maui, but it wasn't where the fires were. And to her credit, I will give her credit that she went out personally and hit the stores or whatever and personally bought a bunch of supplies and personally delivered them to people who'd been displaced. Okay, I will give her that. Now, I know there's going to be somebody, well, she should have opened her house and let a bunch of people stay there. We all say that, okay? Let me ask you this. How many of you are going to open your house to a bunch of strangers and let them stay there, because something happened? You're more than willing to give them something, but, NIMBY, not in my backyard. I don't want you in my house. Okay. So, some of that I'm going to throw by the wayside and go, okay, get over it, guys. This is a disaster, but not everybody is. The conspiracy theorists are having a field day with this one. Okay. However, I am going to give you an interesting one about the Larry Fink BlackRock deal. Now, maybe you guys know who Larry Ellison is, maybe you don't. All right, Larry Ellison is the CEO of Oracle, okay, IT company, been around for ages. Larry Ellison is a extremely wealthy man. There's a little island about 40 miles away west of Lahaina. It's called Lanai. Okay. It's a 141 square mile island. It's big. Think about how 141 square miles, guys. Okay. 10 miles wide, 14 miles long. Just use that. That's how big. You talk about how many acres you own. He's talking about how many square miles he owns. 141. Okay. Larry Ellison owns 98% of Lanai. of 141 square mile island. So what does he own? 140 miles of it? They're maybe about 138. Okay. He owns the electric company, the gas company, the grocery store, the gas stations, every hotel on the island except for one that's owned by Four Seasons. Okay. And Ellison has an idea what he wants to do. He owns the water company. You name it. The entire infrastructure, police department, fire department, everything is owned by Larry Ellison out there. You want to do anything on Lanai, Larry Ellison controls it. Okay. Ellison has come out and said his intent is to turn this into some eco-friendly utopia, okay, where everything is going to be solar powered, where the water is all going to be desalinated, whatever, okay? This island used to be basically a bunch of pineapple plantations. That's what it is, okay? That's why. There's about 3,000 people that live on this island. But he wants to make it an eco-friendly haven, as they put it. Okay? Doesn't care what the people who live there think about it. This is going to be a completely sustainable place of living. How many 15-minute cities? Well, we're relocating you, Mr. Smith. We're sending you to Hawaii. Cool. I always wanted to live in Hawaii. And you go out on this island and you are under the control of an oligarch. Okay. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say it's highly probable, but I'm going to question a little bit about the Lahaina. Okay. This was a historic town, a tourist area that was primarily inhabited by native Hawaiians, okay? And if you look at property in Hawaii, it's inherited. Go try to buy property in Hawaii. Good freaking luck, okay? Because a lot of property has been in families for many decades, if not centuries. And so they need a reason to get people out. You can't go up and knock on the door and say, "Hi, I'd like to buy your store. We want to change the complete eco-culture of the area." No. But if the entire town is gone, Hawaii's not. Let's put this: Hawaii is a wealthy state, but the wealth is highly concentrated. Okay, it's not concentrated in the hands of the native Hawaiians. Maybe they're wealthy on paper because of the value of the land or something like that. But as for the dinero, okay, no, not so much. Can they afford to rebuild? Well, I'm assuming insurance, but how long is that going to take? The entire town burned down. You want to build an entire town back, it's not going to happen over the next 3 months, and they're all going to be in new houses for Christmas. They might be in new houses for Christmas by 2030. Okay, what are you going to do for the next 7 years? There's a lot of people who may sell out, which goes back to the Larry Fink. Is there a possibility of buying land cheap? Yeah, probably. Okay. Where are these people going to go? It's not that easy to relocate from an island. Just saying, okay? But do they decide, hey, everything's trashed? We'll build, because we can do this quickly, 15-minute cities here. And now we go, look how this has worked in Hawaii. Well, they destroy one of the paradises of the world and turn it into a liberal utopia, kind of like Larry Ellison wants to do, who is a screaming liberal, in case you didn't know. But you look at what's going on in some of these natural disasters. I mean, who knows what's going to happen next? But look at them with an open mind. Don't just take and I know most of us don't, okay, take the spin that's put on it by CNN. Oh, this was all because of climate change. And that was, if it wasn't for climate change, we wouldn't have any of these fires. No, okay. If it wasn't for the fact of, again, forest mismanagement, that would have started it. If it wasn't for the fact of a fire department that didn't do their freaking job, that would have had something to do with it. Potentially, if it wasn't the fact of, poorly maintained electrical wires, that would have something to do with it. And all of that would go back to, if it wasn't for having Democrat leadership in the state, you wouldn't have the problems either. Okay. Watch these events and see what you can learn from it. But if there's one takeaway that you get from this whole disaster in Hawaii, have a plan that your kids know, or that your elderly parents know, or your spouse, or anybody that's in your household, where to go in case of emergency, okay? If it's a house fire, I know everybody says, okay, I'm going down to the mailbox, whatever it would be. You watch the house burn, okay? But if it's something bigger like this, which it could be a tornado, or it could be a hurricane. I mean, we are coming into the peak hurricane season, even though we haven't had any yet this year. September is supposed to be bad, okay? Where to go? Where can I find you? Because if the answer is, okay, everybody meets at the police station, and it's a mile away from home, or 2 miles away from home, or something like that, and the kids are 7 years old, okay, as long as they know how to get there, walk, okay? Do they have can they go to a neighbor's house, a friend's house or something, and go with them, something like that? Do people know, in case of emergency, my kids are coming to your house, can you take them to the police station for me? Okay, just using that as an example. Because y'all remember 9/11, okay? And remember all the pictures we saw of all the walls missing and a picture of somebody. Where are they? You certainly don't want that to happen to your loved ones. Use this as a learning example, as something that you can take something away from. Again, it didn't happen to most of us, okay? But it did happen to somebody. And next time it could happen to you. You don't know. Be prepared. Pinball out.